All right, welcome back for day two. Just an update following the last series. It's actually a lot easier to keep going once you've started. I mean, yesterday was the first video, a little rough, but today I kind of came up. I watched the last video and kind of realized there was some stuff I wanted to go over that I probably didn't cover very well. So, yesterday my weight was about 250, 249, somewhere in there. This morning, so all day yesterday, all I ate was carnivore basically, 2 pounds of beef and some sardines, and then I have some milk. I do allow milk for my version of carnivore because I'm into so much training that I don't think it really hurts me. I process milk very well. I still maintain or produce the enzymes apparently that allow me to drink milk. So if it works for me, it works for me. I may try to cut it out eventually. I drink about, I think, 2 cups a day if I'm training. So if I run, if I do some combat sports, if I do something like that, um, that would require a little bit more energy. So that's where I am with that. So this morning I woke up, I was 246. Today I've already eaten about a pound and a third of beef and then another can of sardines. I really like sardines. I know some people can't stand them. My wife loves them. I love them. If you can find sardines and mustard, that was my go-to when I was a kid, like sardines and mustard on some saltine crackers. But right now I'm just sticking to the olive oil version, just trying to keep it cleaner. Let's see, what else did I? Oh yeah, I already had my 2 glasses of milk today. So I'm probably hovering around right around that 1600, 1750 mark, maybe 2000 calorie mark right now. I don't really count calories. The way I work is more intuitive eating. Like right now, I'm pretty stuffed. If I eat a bunch of protein and a bunch of fat all together at the same time, it's pretty hard to overeat calories, but it is definitely possible. So if I'm losing weight, plus I do fasting, if I balance those two things out pretty regularly, pretty evenly, like let's say I start a 5 day fast and then I get down to a weight and then I start doing 3 day fasts and I'm just maintaining right there at the 3 day balance, then I know that I should start dropping my calories on my eat days a little bit more. Regulating my hormones is more important to me than counting calories. I would rather go in and burn fat and upregulate my metabolism and decrease my insulin levels, get all of those. If you've never heard of Dr. Jason Fung, I would definitely recommend you look into him. He explains everything very well. He's technically a nephrologist, but he's delved into most of the biochemical processes of the human body, how they work, gives great analogies, freezer versus the fridge. He really connects all the dots for me at least. Plus, like I said in the first video, I've been fasting for years and years. It's something that I enjoy. When I would play competitive sports in the past, if I would fast, I would always have a little bit of an edge. So I would fast, have a big game, and then feast. So I'm not a big proponent of starving yourself or slowly tapering off calories so that you're kind of losing weight a little bit each day. I don't think that's how we were really designed as an animal. I mean, we're technically an animal on this planet, right? Our ancestors would kill a big animal, feast for several days, and then go chase another big animal. And with that in mind, it just makes sense, at least for my genetics, right? Like I do have friends. One of my friends, Nick, he's from the Caribbean. He cannot process beef, right? Like no matter what he does, it's just a bad day for him. So he relies more on fish and chicken and things like that, right? Which makes sense, right? Like I can eat fish and chicken, doesn't give me a problem, but I also know I don't feel at my peak performance when I'm doing that. So I'm not here to tell you what's right for you, right? This is just my personal documentary, keeping me accountable so that I know what's going well and what's not. So this morning, 246, carnivore shed some water weight for me yesterday. Obviously, it wasn't all fat. Today, so I did my sprint running yesterday. It was like 47 minutes, I think, 8 sessions of sprints. So you do a warm up, then you do your sprint sessions, like 10 seconds on, 2 minute break, 10 seconds on, 2 minute rest, like you're still running in the middle, and then you do your cool off. So that ended up being about 47 minutes running in the 5 minute mile, 5.5 minute mile range, for the sprint session. For the cool downs and for the warm up and stuff, I was running closer to the 10 minute mile range. And then trying to think. So yoga, didn't do any of my yoga or any of my flexibility, mobility, anything like that yesterday. I had a fairly dialed in recovery method, which I'm switching now just to see if how my body contrasts. So I have red light mats. I was taking peptides. I was doing a bunch of things like that to see what I could do to, basically accelerate my progress in the base building phase of my running program. I don't have it on me right now, but I typically have my Garmin. I wake up every morning. It tells me what to go do, how much I need to run, all that. I'll have more content specifically on the Garmin here shortly. And so I stopped taking the peptides because I just ran a cycle for like a month. Now that I'm done with that cycle, I am going to just do like my general recovery. I have a Theragun, which is like a massage gun thing that'll beat up, like get all the lactic acid and byproducts and cellular waste out of your muscles. I have the red light recovery mat. Um, I think that's covered. And then I wanted to also go over like just general posture. I didn't really like flex or show different angles, I guess I should say, last time. So I wanted to just kind of get a baseline of what that looks like and then go from there. So this is just me standing here naturally. I'm trying not to flex or suck it in or do anything like that, even though it's a fairly natural thing to want to do. And then so I never go to the gym, right? Clearly it shows. I'm not trying to flex on that. Haha, pun intended. I never go to the gym. Or to lift weights. If I do, it's to run on the treadmill. So, and I just started doing that. It's not like I've even been doing the treadmill and the gym stuff. I've been running now consistently for probably 6 months, but that is an off and on thing for me. Typically when I run, then I'll run for 6 months and then stop for 5 or 6 months and run for 6 months and stop for 5 or 6 months. But my niece really has been motivating me and encouraging me she's only a year younger than me. So she's more like my sister. So I call her Nister and she calls me Brunkle. And her and her husband during COVID and whatnot got into running and being more fit and healthy. And we have this ambition to have great lives when we're older. There's no reason for us. The biggest fear that I think I would have would be being stuck in a wheelchair in a nursing home, unable to go do stuff. Because right now, God has blessed me with a very amazingly healthy body. I have done nothing, if I'm just being honest, right? I've done nothing but abuse it most of my life, right? I've eaten bad food and not exercised and sat in a chair and all of that. And this is really my like comeback, right? Like I just had a birthday. I'm 38. It's disgusting where I am, but compared to my potential. And so I don't think I'm going to be able to afford enough time to get to my 100% potential. But what I do think is that I could use this to get to like at least 80%. So if I can get my VO2 max high, if I can start hitting the weights, if I can start building that muscle mass, I want to be able to have bone density and energy and strength and stamina so that when I am 90, God willing, and my wife and I want to go do something and travel and climb Machu Picchu or do, just whatever, pick up grandkids, go for a swim, mow the yard, I should be able to do that. And this is me making small investments in my future. And so hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that is something that resonates with you. I'm going to check my notes real quick, make sure I didn't forget anything that I wanted to go over. Oh, sleep. Okay. So my Garmin hates my sleep pattern. I have habitually my entire life been bad at sleep. So I will wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, stay up for 3 or 4 hours. It's kind of insomnia. It's kind of not, right? Like my goal on average, I would love 8 hours of sleep every night. I rarely get that. No matter if I go to bed at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, I will just wake up, right? So 6 hours to 8 hours, my body fluctuates in between like where it likes me to sleep. Last night, my cousin got a cool 3D printer. He needed a part made for his stove. I'm decent with 3D modeling. So I made it and, shipped it. He printed it. We revised it back and forth. I ended up staying up way too late. It was like 1 o'clock. So, 1 o'clock, I get up at 6:30. That's only 5.5 hours. So watch is not happy. Honestly, I felt it this morning, right? I did need more sleep than I gave myself. But moving forward, tonight I should be going to sleep earlier, and we'll just see how that works out.